What up, though? What up, though? Y'all know what it is. Y'all know who it is, man. It's a special day and it's a different day. We here. We giving the people what they want. You know what I mean? And we in this thing. As you know, I'm Big Tone, and I'm here with the lovely Cherie and the young boy Malachi. Let's talk to him, man. Let's do ladies first. What up, though? What's up, Cherie?
What up, though, everybody? How you doing, Big Tom?
What up, though? How you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Hey,
How
ooh,
you
How you
doing?
doing, Mally? How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's what I do. I come on the show. I feel good. It's what I do. Okay.
It's kind of my thing, huh?
I mean, I said, who is this guy? Huh? You think I'm not doing fine? Huh? Come on, man.
Use, guys.
This guy, this guy's breaking my balls. Thinks I'm
Gabagoosh,
not doing well.
gamagash.
Hey, Paulie, you
It's
Paulie.
nothing.
I said, meet the
Nah,
meatballs, Paulie. You choose not to meet the meatballs. And then this guy busting my chops. Busting my chops.
You
oh
busting my
wow,
chops.
guy, man, this guy's a moly,
But
huh?
oh shit.
Gabagoosh, gamagash.
You
It's
know,
nothing. It's
what
nothing.
do I say? Happy holidays, if you will. If
It's nothing, huh?
if you do a little dibble and dabbles and your greenery's there, then happy holidays to you.
Happy
Happy.
holidays. It's 420.
Yeah, I did not at all indulge in anything of that matter.
Really?
Yeah,
Shout out to you, young boy.
I
Shout
don't be
out to
doing
you
that.
and your journey.
Well, that is
I'm
so
lying.
good. That is so good.
I'm lying. I'm lying because I'm telling the truth that I'm lying. That I'm not doing what I said I was gonna do.
That I'm not doing what I said.
Well, I'm always in my right frame of mind. I don't smoke. I don't drink. So
You know what? I smoke and I drink, but I'm always in my right frame of mind too. I wonder how that
Come
happens.
on, come on, somebody.
Talk
Hey,
about it. Or down. It's up to you. Whatever you comfortable with. I ain't pushy. Me too.
man,
Hey.
how was your week, Cherie?
You know what? I had a very busy week, but it was productive, so I can't complain.
Okay.
I'm not gonna complain. I'm a mom, so always busy. 6-year-old, and she has behavior problems. I never thought I would have a kid that I would be ready to strangle, but she is very smart, and she tests my patience. So we had a very interesting week when it comes to my mom life. When it comes to work, don't forget I got my event I've been working on April.
oh, oh. Well, we're gonna pause that pause.
Yeah, put
You know,
that
we
pause on pause.
we're gonna pause that
Yeah,
pause.
April 29th. There she is.
There you go. We
I saw
still
that
gonna
blink.
pause that pause.
I'm gonna pause that. She blinking though, like
Yeah, she blinking. I don't know what she doing. But I wanna mention something, man.
yeah.
Since she's been on, she's been dealing with a tough time trying to stay on. And she ladies and gentlemen, bear with us as we work through our technical difficulties. You know what I mean? But on that note, I'm gonna bring Cherie back on because she was in mid sentence.
April 29th.
So I just wanted to know how y'all week was. You know how momming and stuff goes. It's kind of crazy, but it was a very productive week. How you have y'all week been? Not very eventful for me.
Man, my week has been long too. I've been grinding, man, hustling, get left and right, making it happen. I'm getting ready to go out of town for my birthday. So
Hey,
yeah, I've been hustling up my chips. Y'all that don't know, my birthday's next week, April 29th, the same day as Tree's event. So
hey.
I'm definitely popping out to the game night after this comedy show that I go to. But I'll be there tonight, that night for sure. Yep, I'll be 28 years old on the 29th. Wow, that's crazy to me. It's really
Oh,
crazy. Today I got some work done to my car. $900 worth of work. Man, it hurt. Yeah.
yeah.
I was able to get some help through this financing program, but they covered so much. and I had to cover the rest. And but now like I have to pay on it every week. I'm glad to be out the jam now, but man, it's tight. It's tough, man. But
Yeah.
the car is running way more better. It was the work was needed. I knew it was some work was needed, and I kept putting it off because I use my car to make money. But when you use a car to make money, your car got to be reliable. So
Yeah.
got the work done, man. It did suck and it kind of put me back, but it is what it is. I'm gonna hustle it back up, and it's life, man. It's just
And
all
it's a
about
blessing.
perspective.
It's still a blessing.
It's still a blessing, man. It is a
Yeah.
blessing, and it's pushing me to go even harder, be more strategic, so that I can be prepared for stuff like this. So
100%.
it's one of them adulting things that you would just be like, okay, what a great time for my car to break down, huh? Oh no, I'm
Well,
enjoying
I
life.
do. I forgot. I did do something exciting this week, y'all. I went to the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. Okay, and if y'all don't know, we have one of the largest African American history museums here in Detroit. Isn't that amazing?
What?
Yeah, we
One
have the
of the
second largest. I
largest?
think the Smithsonian is the first largest, and that's just because obviously they got them dollars backing them up. But yeah, we have the second largest. We did have the largest until they ended up stepping their game up. But I thought that was pretty impressive.
That is actually great history, man. Shout out to Detroit, man. Detroit has a lot of hidden gems that's just right under our nose, man.
Man,
Like
yeah,
worldwide, United States wide renowned gems. You feel me?
yeah.
Like
They
that's just
don't give
right
us as
here.
much credit.
They be
Yeah.
sleeping on Detroit, man. Detroiters sleep on Detroit, man. Be like,
Hmm.
man, this is the Charles H. Wright. Nigga, you don't know this is prestige history right here. Like,
It really is, though. Yeah,
yeah. I had the pleasure of going for Antoine's birthday last year. So his birthday's in March. So a year ago we went. Phenomenal experience, man. I went when I was in school, but going as an adult, whole different vibe.
it
Because
is.
you got a better understanding of life and you know the struggle more and stuff. And did you go on the ship?
I did. I did the whole tour. It was amazing. Y'all have to listen. If y'all have not gone, you have to visit the Dr. Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History. When I tell you, like, I obviously, I pride myself on being very knowledgeable when it comes to slavery and, our ancestors' experiences and stuff back then. But when I tell you, it never hurts to hear someone else's perspective or their wording and the way that they kind of put things together, because it can be a point where it resonates with you, and it'll give you like that aha moment. When I tell you, I felt so overwhelmed with gratitude, and I just was like thanking my ancestors, because none of us would be here. Absolutely none of us. You would not be here, Malachi. You would not be here, Tone. I would not be here if our ancestors did not fight and endure everything that they went through for us to be here and to fight for our quality of life and the things that we're fighting for now.
I'm
Absolutely.
glad you said that because growing up, I always had a different perspective about the '60s fight. You know what I'm saying? I always thought they was weak. You know what I mean? But it took me to really look at things from a different perspective. Like they don't have the freedoms that we have now. You know what I'm saying? They were completely outnumbered with injustice. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So the things that we're capable of doing now, we not even we they fought for those abilities for us to be able to be free and do
Real
some of
talk.
the things. And you know me, Malachi. I'm gonna give you one thing that you don't know about me, Cherie. I'm not a fan of voting. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Because I don't look at voting as being a generational thing any longer. Like we're in a system that's failing us and continuously falling down, and we steady going along with it. You know what I mean? And it's like we have to be able to be in a position to be like, no, if you value who we are, you're gonna respect that. You just don't come here and eat grandma's sweet potato pie and come to the church, win our vote, and you don't do nothing to fuck for us. You know what I'm saying? So
I can
those
see that perspective. However, I also look at it as every time a black person goes to the polls and puts their opinion on paper, even if they don't really give a shit about what we think or care about, that is our way of protesting. That is our way of saying that we are tired of the system and we are tired of the way that they
I
treat
wish I
us.
would have got that last part. And I'm sure that last part is deep, but what I'm gonna say too is to push
Such.
back on that last part because I know she's gonna bring it.
There you go. Come on.
There you go. Here we go.
So I look at it, I don't know how much y'all caught, but I look at it as a way of protest. Every time a black person goes to the polls, it is doing our ancestors justice because they did fight for that right. Even if they're not listening to our voice, we are doing our part based off of the society, unfortunately, the system that we have here put in place. Now, until we, are banding together and really learn the politics in the system ourselves and try to implement those changes and put ourselves in positions in Congress, in the Senate, in these different positions where we're actually able to make change, then I don't see that it happening. But I will continue to vote because our ancestors fought for our voice, and I'm going to continue to appreciate that and to make sure that I do my part.
But see, that's the sole issue I have. We keep fighting to assimilate in a program that don't want us to be equal. You know what I
Oh
mean?
no, we can segregate for all I care. I just want to be
The
looked
whole
at as a human being.
Yeah, but there's no reason for me to even be a part of you if you don't even value me as a human being. Separate can be equal. I can have my own government and not even be associated with you. But because of the way we are, like we're foundational Black Americans, meaning that we created this America. So if anything, there should be. I don't believe in the generational part. We keep going and press a button because of their sacrifice. We
Well, let
got
me ask
different.
y'all a
We got.
question.
Hold on, wait a minute. We got different sacrifices. Their generation had a whole different sacrifice in which we are not struggling with today. So we can't
Mm,
continue to do something based upon
What
what they were doing.
what sacrifice are we not struggling with today that they were back then?
We have a lot more uh, uh, overt freedoms that they didn't have back then. You know what I'm saying?
But we're still
That's
fighting for the same stuff.
not necessarily.
What are we not? What were we fighting for back then that we're not fighting? I mean, well,
We
that we're
weren't
fighting for
fighting. We
now.
weren't. We weren't fighting to sit next to them in a restaurant. That's their struggle. So that's a whole different struggle today that we have compared to their struggle.
But to me, it hasn't changed really because just because this white family is sitting in this, you know what I'm saying, next to me in this table, they can have thoughts that they don't want to sit next to me in the table still. To me, it's deeper than that. We need to change their mental think, the way that they think. If their thinking doesn't change, then it doesn't matter if they're fake giving me any type of equality. I don't want fake equality. I want you to really see me and
Agreed.
understand that I am equal to whatever you think that you have and whatever you think that you are. I am
Do
just
you
as
really
great, maybe.
do you really think that by you pressing a vote that they will see you and acknowledge you on their level when white supremacy has no barriers. Like it's no deal. Like at the end of the day, they care how you feel, right? We both know this. We could be sitting next to somebody who may or may not feel that way. You know what I mean? That may look different from us. What we dealing with today is a much more deeper task than being able to sit next to you, like you said. We can't show them or teach them how to not be racist. If that's something that's innate in you, that's what you are. No matter
That's
what
not.
I say to you, you will never change your perspective because you already have a misconceived notion about black people, period.
I don't agree with that. I think that people can change. I feel that is going to take time, just like it took time for them to convince themselves that they were better than us when we were already doctors, lawyers, textile people. We are fucking amazing, ingenious people. Do you hear me? We created a way for us to do everything. And when they gave us the scraps, we still made gold out of it. So what my whole thought process is that I don't need nobody to tell me what my worth is, but you will respect my worth and you're going to give me my value. You're going to give me what I know. And if it takes a billion years, I'm going to continue to fight for it. So I feel you, but I don't really necessarily 100% agree. And I do think a lot of the struggles, even though they have disguised themselves as different things, is still very much the same. And I feel that it's kind of getting kind of washed away. I don't know if y'all have seen those Jewish commercials or not, where they're like spreading anti-Semitism.
No,
I'm sorry, fighting anti-Semitism. Have y'all seen those?
no,
No.
I haven't seen them.
Y'all. Now, first of all, we know, like, no comparison. Obviously, they did Jews wrong as well. We know the whole Holocaust situation and the story about, how Hitler did them and everything, right? However, Black people continue and have gone through so much, and it's like,
See
why are
something.
these commercials for anti-Semitism being pushed? But I have yet to see one, not just one commercial stating that about racism towards African Americans. I have
So,
not
Mm,
seen one.
so
mm.
that answers my question. Like, why is there such a need to assimilate in let's say a state where let's just say United States, whatever. We continue to keep trying to assimilate where we're not wanted. Like
But I
one
don't
thing,
think that is what it
hold on, let me
is.
finish. One thing that'll never change is your skin color, right? You could be black as all get out. At the end of the day, you still a nigga in their viewpoint,
But I
which is
don't think it's
cool,
assimilating.
which is cool with me. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, let me go over here and set up with the rest of these niggas. Let me go ahead. That's my issue. My issue is us. We talk about the white man all day, and at the end of the day, the white man has put us in this position where we're fighting too many fights, and when we fight too many fights, we got too many enemies to fight. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like if we're not just overtly fighting each other, we fighting the fact that let's just say you Christian and I'm Muslim. You can't talk to me because I don't share the same practices as you. You know what I'm saying? So when that happens, we create barriers amongst ourselves. I'm blood, you crip. The beautiful thing about being white is they put all that shit on the back burner. And they know one thing. They know they white at the end of the day. So that's what they choose to preserve. We don't do the same thing.
But one thing that I need you to understand, Tone, is slavery is not over. We are continuing to fight. And because our mentality was so fucked up, what did I tell you? We started out as doctors, lawyers, textile, professionals, all sorts of people that were very resourceful. We knew what we had to do. We put the work in. And then they said, oh, we see the value in these people. Let's steal them from their land and teach them and show them that they're nothing, but we're going to learn from them without showing them that they're smart and they're capable, and we're going to take what they value away from them. We're going to rip them from everything. And so I think looking at it like that is not trying to assimilate, because I could give two shits about assimilating and being with white people. I could be around Black people for the rest of my life and not have to see another white person. What
Mm.
it is again that respect.
Mm.
Respect and acknowledgement that I am a human being. I am not property, and you do not get the right to tell me my worth or what I deserve and my quality of life. And that is what it is.
But that's the thing though. I just look at it like even me trying to prove to you that I'm worthy of being in the same room as you, it means nothing. It
But
means
that's not
nothing
what it
to me.
is.
Huh?
That's not what it is, though.
That's what I'm saying though, and in the way you explain it, you are absolutely right. We are still under the thumb of white supremacy, which is a form of slavery. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, until we are able to do the things within us, we won't see the light, period. It is so I can't see it. I
Can I
can't
tell
see
you
it.
something, though, Tom? It took us, how long have we been in slavery? Over 400 years. Easy, right? it's going to take at least 400 years to reverse all the bullshit that they've put on us. All of the stuff that they've done, all of the mental damage, telling us that we were worth nothing, telling us that we were property, putting numbers on us, branding us, treating us like animals. It is going to take just as long, if not maybe double as long. And now, if you've ever been, I don't know about y'all, but I've been in an abusive relationship before. When you are in an abusive relationship, when a person gets in your mind and they change your mind and they tell you and convince you, it don't even have to be flat out, I'm telling you you're worth nothing. Because obviously hearing that, a person, if you're strong minded, you know not to believe that, right? Just a person flat out telling you that. They use tactics, certain tactics, to get into our mind to change it. So this is generational damage that we are trying to reverse. And we cannot say how long that is going to take, but all I know is it's been over 400 years of damage being done. They continue to put that damage on us. So it's in counting, 400 and counting. So I just, again, I hear what you're saying, but I felt an overwhelming feeling of gratitude for my ancestors before me, putting in that work, dealing with that harsh, all the hardships and all of the damage and stuff that they put on us and trying to destroy us as people. I think we are fucking powerful, even to, after 400 years of damage, to be here fighting and having a podcast and sitting here together and communing and talking about it and being able to be empowered by one another. That just shows how strong and how amazing we are as Black people. And they can't take that from us. They can't take it.
Wow. Wow. Well, hey, look, y'all both got some great points, and I love these topics because it brings America in a continuous light of what's really going on. Because a lot of times, a lot of people are a lot of the white people are misconstrued with this whole idea that everything's so great. No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? I had a white friend that during the George Floyd incident, he he tried to make it seem like it was no big deal.
Mm.
Like, how do y'all really feel about this? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, we just watched one of ours die, like in front of everybody's eyes. You know what I'm saying? So it's these conversations we got to continue to have. You know what I'm saying? But I get both sides. One side saying, hey, we need to just stick together. Next side say, no, we all need to be cohesive. You feel me? So it's like, to each his own.
You
So
know, you know, you know, Malachi. When I first saw the George Floyd thing, I wasn't really moved by it at all because
Mm.
I was so numb to this has become a regular thing. Let's look at these mass shootings. I'm becoming numb to these mass shootings. It's becoming a norm in this society that this behavior is acceptable. I had a conversation with my old head. He called me up. He said, "Aunt, what is the problem? Like, why what's going on? Like, why we can't fix this?" I said, the government allows everything to take place the way they want it to take place.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing will get past the government unless they allow it to get its ass. I say one of the biggest issues that America face is fear. If you
Mm-hmm.
take away the Second Amendment, which gives you the right to bear arms in America, why the fuck you need guns? You need guns because white America won this bitch off the premises of being in fear. So they got to protect themselves at all costs. I need a high powered rifle. I need this. I need that because I don't want these niggas to be able to be in a position to come get me.
yeah,
Come get me. That's the
yeah,
only reason I can feel like people, which is the government, that won't evoke any change on this Second Amendment. Period. Other
So I
countries don't have it.
so I did miss a piece of what you said, Big Tom, because I had cut out a little bit, but I wanted to. You made an absolutely great point that I wanted to touch on, and the fact that you said that you're somewhat desensitized to the George, and that is not my brother, 100%. I can feel what you're saying because it's been so much bullshit that has occurred. But
Yeah.
when I tell you, I'm one of those people, like I do believe that I'm an empath. I know, like, I hate to hear people say that type of stuff all the time and stuff like that, but I really can put myself in a certain person's shoes and stuff, and I really, I value having that gift because I can genuinely see your viewpoint on things as well, because we've dealt with so much bullshit that it can become, you can become numb to it. But I think that that in itself is very sad, and I feel sad for our black people that feel
But see, that's the thing. We still in a feeling state. It shouldn't
Mm.
be no point where we feeling. It shouldn't be a point where we are against each other. It should be a point where, okay, we have a military mindset. We need to be focused on if we getting free or die trying. We don't have that, and we all are not there. You know what I'm saying? We got two.
everybody not fighters though.
Everybody ain't fighters, but at the same time, there should be support to fight. And we talking today, man. We talking today about what's really going on. What's going on in this world? What's the deal? Like, this shit is crazy. Like, and we really just speaking from the motherfucking heart. Like, really, real talk. You know, and one of the things that really struck me with the subject matter today is you mentioned going to the museum. And
Mhm.
one of the things the museum, I don't know if they covered it or not, but one of the main things that I like to look at, I love to look at history. And this is a perfect depiction of history. 1804 of the hidden history of Haiti. You know, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with Tariq Nasheed, but Tariq Nasheed, he came out with this movie and he talked about the hidden history of Haitians in Haiti. And what they
Mhm.
did was they simultaneously got rid of their captors. They simultaneously first got rid of all the coons, all the niggas that was in the way. They took them out first, cut their throat, poisoned them. They did all that. Second, they started working on their captives. You know what I'm saying? We are not at that stage.
Listen, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful story. However, it's not everybody's reality. And to take it a
That's not a
step further,
story. That's
but
history.
France, hold on though, because France owned Haiti for a very long time and controlled them and had them under some 360 deal, for lack of a better term. That's the best way I can describe it. Had them under some 360 deal saying that we get all of your resources, we get all of your money, everything that pretty much you own is France's.
That's
So
due to that
Haiti can be
that's
Haiti.
due because of that rebellion they did. They fought and got the motherfuckers out of there, and then they
But
end
they
up
just
getting wiped
recently
out.
did it. But that was a recent thing that happened.
That's
So
not
again,
recent.
it takes
That's not
time.
recent.
It
That
was though, because just up until maybe a few years ago, they were still under France's thumb. 100%.
no,
100% we're
no,
still under.
that has always been the case ever since they've been under French thumb for a minute, man. It ain't been recent. They has always
No,
been
I'm
under.
saying since they started
That's why they
fighting
that's
back.
why they haven't been, that's why they haven't been able to get back completely up to being a major continent because they don't have resources and everyone keep using them for what they got.
Yeah. Haiti's got, listen, Haiti, Africa, all of these so-called impoverished, countries are, they want to try to say we're third world countries and all that other type of stuff, but they're hella resources, and that's why you want to have control over them. So let's keep it real. Their riches, beyond what you can even fathom. You know what I'm saying? And again, take it a step further, Americans, we have a whole different mentality too than these outside countries, than these other countries, these continents and stuff. Because we feel like we live in the best and we can help them and we can save them and all that other type of stuff. But in reality, a lot of these places, they are living their so-called best life and they don't need no saving. If anything, we can learn something from a lot of these third world countries, like you said, Tom. And I do agree with that. Now we can learn some things from Haiti, but our people have been American assimilated, and so that's where that is gonna take. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take time.
It comes to a point where time shouldn't even be something we talking about. Like we've had so many opportunities to fight for injustice. Like you look at this banner, right? Look at this banner. What's the biggest thing we as a problem that I have? Malachi know the problem that I have. The
Justice.
problem I have is we do too much fucking talking. We do too much marching. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't be marching. We shouldn't be talking. You kill one of mine, I kill two of yours. That's the way it's got to be. You know what I mean?
Well, you sound
And
like you on your Jim Brown.
no, I'm talking about revolution because at the end of the day, I'm gonna be honest with you. If a motherfucker can kill us and the only thing that we do is march, they're gonna continue to do like they've been doing.
I
You know
feel
what I
you,
mean?
Jim.
You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, we never come at nobody like that. We come at each other like that, but we don't cross the tracks and kill no white man. We don't do no mass murdering. I just needed to go up into this church and shoot up all these white people in this church. We don't operate like that. Two things: we operate out of fear, and we
Mhm.
operate out of fucking the ability to get fucked up. You know what I mean? And we know what our repercussions are. When you come from a state where you don't fear no repercussions, like white America,
Mhm.
you will fucking operate like this is your shit, and I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I agree.
unless we match that same energy,
But again, everybody ain't no fighter, Tone. I feel you. Let's get out here
that's
and
why I
let's
say,
throw
that's
them
why I
both.
say,
Let's throw
that's
them
why I
both.
say, that's why I say, like at the end of the day, all this shit is just be talk, and we ain't even got into the subject matter. Like let's talk about what we talking about. Like
Let's
yo,
talk about what's really going on.
yeah, let's talk about what's really going on. Let's talk about the young boy. The young boy knocked on the white man's door. You know what I mean? Shot this little dude in the face. Now, there's no way I'm protesting. There's no way I'm trying to see this motherfucker locked up. He old as fuck. I'm ending it for him. I'm sorry. I'm
So
ending
the
it.
sad
You
part
hurt my
about that,
son.
I'm
I'm
with you.
fucking you up.
I stand
Period.
with Tom. Okay, 100%. Let's
No,
just
don't be
put
with
that there.
me. Don't
I
be with
stand
me.
with you. I
I
stand
don't be
with
with
you.
me because it's that's real.
But when it gets down, what it really boils down to, honestly, though, I think that
Yo, Mally,
Yeah. There you go, Sheree.
there she go.
Just breathe through it. Okay, cool. Um, I see your point, OG. Eye for an eye, ear for an ear. And it's hard for me as a person that doesn't believe in that to disagree with you because what else can we do? You know what I'm saying? There the the biggest fact for me about this whole thing is that he was shooting to kill. Like he wasn't just trying to protect himself. He was like, no, let me murder this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is finally my chance. It's like one of them, oh, I dream. It's like almost like I wish a nigga would. Like he always wished the nigga would, and now
This is my opportunity.
wait, y'all gonna kill me though. Y'all gonna hate me for this. I ain't gonna
No,
lie. I know y'all gonna hate me for this, but I got to play devil's advocate.
there's no devil advocate in this.
That nigga was old as hell, yo. That nigga, one of his eyes was like,
No, I mean, but I mean that could be an excuse. But let's talk
not
about
an excuse. Not an excuse.
let's talk about the motherfucker.
a headshot
The
is
nigga took a headshot. That's no different than the
Listen.
bull. What's the black bull that was running down the street and they cornered his ass and killed him?
was
Oh,
that
you
in
talking about from before. You talking about what's his
Yeah,
name?
like nigga keep talking about
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
before that, before that, before that. And a lot of these motherfuckers, it ain't regular citizens. Motherfuckers
Mm-mm.
being hiding behind being a police officer, hiding
Mm-hmm.
behind the badge. You talking about some?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. I froze. You're a fucking cop.
I no,
Yeah.
the part for me is that I fear for my life because that's one of the things he said was that he feared for his life. How do you fear for your life? One inside the home, all you hear is a ding dong. You see a black man. Oh, I fear for my life. Where's my gun?
His old ass didn't need no damn gun. That's the real story. We need to look at
Hold
these
on.
gun laws.
So that goes back to what I was saying originally about the Second Amendment. There's no
Hmm.
reason why none of these motherfuckers should have had guns. We just talked about this. This transsexual just went to this motherfucking school and shot up all these babies. You know what
Wait,
I'm
what?
saying? You ain't hear
A
about that?
transsexual did?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear about
It
that.
was a transsexual identified as a man.
Mm,
They crossed over from a female to a man,
mm.
went into the school and shot up all these motherfucking kids. You know
Oh
what I'm
my
saying?
God.
And I think this was like last month
Mm.
in Kentucky, I want to believe. Kentucky or Tennessee, one or the other. And then, we have some black kids down in Alabama shooting the club up, you know what I mean? With an AR-15, like, yo, Second Amendment rights need to be talked about. They need to be
Yeah.
touched on. And I don't care. And you got black people's like, I'm not giving up my gun. I get it. I really get it. But
Yeah.
it's too many loose guns out here and these babies touching them. And something needs to take place because when they hit the street, bullets got no fucking name on it, man.
100%.
You know what I mean? And we can laugh at this shit with this old man, but I'm killing this motherfucker. You know what I
Now,
mean?
now I'm not laughing. I'm only laughing at the motherfucker's picture because his eyes was cocked as hell in the goddamn picture. I'm just saying. But I'm not laughing at the fact that Ralph Yarrow, a 16-year-old boy, was picking up his siblings and went to the wrong address and was shot 2 times and could have lost his life. And by the grace of God, that young man is still alive. So that part, I'm not laughing at. That is very real. But again, and maybe I just got a crazy sense of humor, y'all. But that motherfucker's eyes was cocked and he was old as hell. And I said, that is sad as hell that this old ass man felt, or with his racist ass, felt that he was in danger from this very articulate 16-year-old boy that he probably didn't even have share 2 words with to even know that if he was in danger or not.
I'm gonna say something that may not sound good. I'd rather the young boy passed away.
Mm.
And the reason why I say that is this young boy is going to be forever traumatized by this life experience that he didn't sign up for. This young man is going to be two things: a victim or a villain
Mm.
going into this. And he didn't sign up to be neither one. So it makes you wonder going forward how this young man's life is going to be.
I got to play devil's advocate again. As a person who is a survivor of domestic violence, I will have to say that I do not agree, because that's just like stating, just because you did not sign up to be in an abusive relationship and have to go through the things that you've gone through, it doesn't matter. He's still going to live his life. He's going to survive. He's going to have a very fulfilled life, and he has a living testimony for what he's gone through. So I do not agree with that part of it. I feel what you're saying to a certain extent, but as far as feeling like he should have just lost his life because of what he's going to have to deal with as far as PTSD and the trauma and stuff like that. As a young black male, I'm not a man, but I am a woman, a black woman, and I can't speak from you guys' experience, but I know that is not a new feeling for y'all, because it's not a new feeling for me. You know what I'm saying? To have to watch your back and have to deal with certain things.
But I'm sure this is a different experience for him. This is
Oh,
an
getting
all new
shot,
different
obviously,
experience.
but
You know what I mean?
I'm sure he
Getting shot,
is happy he's alive.
getting shot. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Me personally, like he would have been on the list as being another Trayvon. He would have been on the list of being another all the others that have
Yeah.
came along with this list.
Breonna Taylor.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? All the other Alton Smiths, all the others that come with this list, right? And
Hmm.
it's been an ongoing tally of everybody on this list. I think he's the only one that survived this list,
Yeah.
which is remarkable within itself. And I'm like, damn, Like, how do you how do you go forward with all that weight on you? That's a lot of weight. And you know what I mean? And when you say you a survivor of domestic abuse, everybody has that's in the black community at some point has been through some form of trauma. And
Yeah.
if you haven't experienced as a black person any form of trauma, your ass ain't black. You know what I
Oh
mean?
no,
And
that's a blessing. That ain't you
that's
ain't black. That's a blessing.
you know what I'm saying. That's the reality though. That's the reality of being black. There's some experience, a negative experience that you're going to experience, and it's a blessing that you have not if you have been black. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I'm saying that in the sense of my trauma too, having a shotgun put to my head by my alcoholic stepfather, and he telling my sister she want to see me live or die. You know, niggas coming in my mama house asking for the dope. You know what I mean? And I'm in the basement, scared as fuck. You know what I mean? Like all this shit is relative. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I could have been dead. You know what I mean? You could have been dead. You know what I mean? And I say this to say there has to be a different awakening that black people in society, in our society, African Americans, foundational black Americans say, you know what? When is enough enough? I'm not going to continue to march up and down these streets. If you fucking openly, and I'm not talking about killing white folks randomly or no shit like that. I'm not no nut. I'm saying this. If you viciously, maliciously out to kill anybody that looks like me, we need to fucking see you. And that's it. Period. But ain't nobody on that type of time. You know what I mean? Like we think about the pandemic when they started rioting, right? The riots. If you was really about that time, if you was really about that time, right? I'm gonna make this point. And I'm gonna give it to you. If you was really about that time, instead of robbing and looting Foot Locker, them motherfuckers weren't even protecting that shit. The cops was nowhere near that. You know where they was at? The reserve. You know what I'm saying? They was at the bank reserve. They was at, the Federal Reserve. They was protecting their assets. You know what I mean? That's something to think
Yeah.
about. We fight for the wrong shit.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that. But you also got to think about it. And I'm going to keep going back to slavery because 400 years and counting is a long fucking time. So you got to think about it. Even when you think about the stuff, what is really going on? Because if you think about the stuff that is happening, even in the schools with the teacher situation and the teacher that was fighting the student and stuff, that's black on black. So until we can stop doing things like that to each other, we're going to continue to be disrespected. We're going to continue having to deal with the stuff that we're going through. Because why? Because we've been set back way further than these other races have been set back due to the mental damage. Now, mental and physical damage, the torture, all of the stuff that we had to go through as black people, that is generation. That's stuff that has been carried down. That's learned behavior. So again, it's going to take us a very long time to learn that we do need to stick together like all the rest of these foreigners do. Because again, we've seen it time and time again. We see the other races and stuff sticking together. What did I just say? I just seen a commercial the other day, a couple commercials, anti-Semitism commercials. Don't talk about Jewish people. Don't
Don't talk about LGBTQ. Don't talk about Jewish people. Don't talk about none of them. You know what I mean? You look, as a heterosexual black male in America, our hands are pretty much tied. You can't even, you know what I mean? It's to a point where you don't even know what you can say any longer. And you get what's that name? You get not banned, but you get what?
blackball.
You get blackballed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cancel.
So you saying that, and I,
Cancel.
I agree with you 100%. But I wanna
Cancel
ask
culture.
you what yeah, cancel culture. I want to ask you this. Do you think that teacher was wrong in defending herself?
Can I be totally honest?
Yeah.
As a person that has worked in the school system that has dealt with a difficult child, granted he was in kindergarten, but he was a very physical child and he kicked and he was very aggressive. And I didn't have the right to reprimand him or to constrain him. And I didn't have, I wasn't allowed to do that, but they did say that, and they showed the policy, and they said that with the child being the age that she was, the teacher would be allowed to restrain the child if they felt they were in danger. So granted, the child went a little crazy, but the adult has to be the adult in the situation, and it is not okay for either of their behavior, but somebody has to be the bigger person and has to end what is occurring. Because honestly, and just like I was having a conversation earlier about this, we don't know that little girl's life. I don't know that young girl's life. At home, she could be a full adult taking care of her siblings, with a parent that's on drugs, any type of situation. But I don't know what that girl's life. I don't know if when she gets to school she feels like she's being disrespected because at home she is an adult and she's seen as an adult. I don't know. It's a lot of, everything is not black and white. So I do feel like that woman was in the right to protect herself, but there's a thin line between protecting yourself and defending yourself when it comes to an adult and a child.
This is why us as a culture are not on the same page. Back in the day, I had to say it in the 80s and the 90s, they did everything, the government did everything in its power to put the man and the woman against each other and put the community against each other. Back in the 80s and the 90s, where I grew up, we had a tight knit community, right? So, what I mean by that is, I went to school, I came home. Before I got home, Mr. Mack knew I had gotten in trouble. I had a conversation with Mr. Mack. You know what I'm saying? He may have popped me upside my head. I had a conversation with Miss Johnson. She may have said some words to me that I may not like. I had a conversation with Miss Jones. She may have told me some choice words. So by the time I got home, I've been reprimanded by 5 or 6 people already that love and care about me, right? So fast forward to today. Fast forward in an environment where there's all these feelings attached to outward behavior. You know what I mean? And what I mean, I worked in social service for over 20 some years. I've worked with young ladies in residential facilities. I've been supervisors in these facilities. I've had to restrain them. I had to restrain young men. I had to do all this stuff. What this teacher did, I think she did exactly what she needed to do to get everything under control. You know what I'm saying? And you can
Let a teacher do that
hold
to
on, let
my
me
daughter.
finish. Let me finish. You could disagree with me, but that girl, she told that girl, have a seat, you know the policy, you know what I mean? I'm taking your phone. She explained to her why she was taking her phone. The young girl got out of line. She crossed the line when she tried to hit her. Now, never in my day that I would fucking raise my hand to an elder. Period.
No,
But when you take that route, you get what the fuck you got cooking to you.
no, not at all.
Period.
No.
And what she did, she didn't fight her like a nigga on the street. She tried to restrain her. And that's what she did. And then to see the little girl playing victim lets me know she will get away with shit like that with you, with you. I
It
said,
ain't,
oh,
no, not with me. Because definitely not, she's not getting away with it with me. But again, there is certain things and there's a certain way that you have to, if you care about it. What did you say before you got home and you got in trouble? There was about four or five teachers that was on your ass because they cared. That's the difference. These teachers, they coming to work. They're going to work, and them kids know that. They feel it. They feel that energy, because guess what? The kids, when I was teaching in the classroom, the kids knew that I cared. If the kid does not, even if they feel like you just there and they got stuff that they dealing with at home that is very real to them, that's, they can't shut that off when they get in school. So guess what? If I got my phone on me and I'm an adult at home and I get in school and I don't have nobody that really care about me for real, that is on my back, or making sure that I'm not gonna hit Miss Johnson upside, go upside Miss Johnson head for taking my phone. Because again, I feel like I'm grown. We A lot of these parents nowadays are not like the parents was back in the day. And again, even if they were, People are different. We are evolving as people, so you can't handle certain situations. Everything is not black and white, and you cannot handle certain situations like you would back in the day because this is how you would do it. Even as a parent,
You don't think
even
you
as a parent, hold on, wait 1 second. Because even as a parent, me as a parent, my parents could tell me all day how they raised me and how they think a kid should be raised. But at the end of the day, I know how my child is. Every child is different. And I'm definitely not going to be like, oh, because you raised 5 or 6 kids, you know 100% what is correct and what's not. No, because guess what? You could do things for 30 years and do it the wrong way for 30 years.
you don't think you're making excuses for adolescent behavior that
Not at all.
should be checked. Let's go back to the level of disrespect that this young man had. I forgot his name was it Jeru that was at Cas Tech when he slammed that damn security guard in the hallway. You don't remember that story? It was years ago. It was a couple years
Yeah,
ago. Not a couple years ago, but it's years back. Changed his whole life. You know what I mean? Because he wasn't
yeah.
dealing with
About
his
about
own.
4 5 years ago.
Yeah, about it could have been 6. You know what I'm saying? But I bring that up to say that whatever the backstory is, right? Whatever her backstory is that you make for her, you know one thing. You know what I mean? Whether I just come to teach you, I don't have to care about you for you to learn. You know what I'm saying? I
That's the
don't have to
problem.
I don't have to be completely invested in you 100% for you to get the message. And that's the problem that we have. We worry about who fucking care all the fucking time instead of getting the message. You
Guess
know what
what?
I'm
We're
saying?
adults, so we can say that as adults, but as a child, that does not resonate with a child. A child goes off of their emotions because again, they are children. They don't have that logic that we have as adults and those experiences that we've dealt with and those different type of personalities that we've encountered, and being able to again pull ourselves out of that emotional state and being able to think about it and really reevaluate certain situations and say, hey, maybe I shouldn't have handled this situation like that. Kids don't have that in them. Literally, y'all have to think about it. We had to teach them how to do everything when they were born. We had to teach them how to walk. We had to teach them how to talk. We had to teach them how to do everything. So imagine that kid not having those parents behind them to teach them emotional intelligence, being able to assess their feelings and knowing what the hell they got going on with them. It's a lot of things that's happening that we're trying to sweep under the rug and not take accountability before for. But if we're going to say that it takes a village to raise your child, then we're going to really take that village and really care, because guess what? I'd be damned if somebody that is just a teacher in my kid's school put their hands or on my child or speak to them in a way that's going to down my child, or not give her any type of encouragement or whatever the case is. If that love and that care is not there, you don't need to speak to my child in that way, because that's
Yeah,
fake.
that's the thing though. Like the teachers that I had growing up, their job was to get across to you that you need to tuck them feelings at the door. You know what I'm saying? This is a different generation. You're right. This generation wears their emotions on their sleeve, on their forehead, and all that stuff. But at the same time, you have emotional support people in the school. And not saying that this girl. What I'm not gonna do is create a backstory. It sounds like you creating a backstory
No,
for the.
what I'm saying is we
You
don't
know what
know
I'm
her
saying?
story. We
No,
don't know it.
what I'm telling you is what you're doing. It sounds like you're creating
I'm
a
not creating.
backstory for her.
I'm saying
Whether
don't
I
shut it
don't know
down.
her story or not, I'm not going to create one for her. I think she was dead ass wrong for even hitting that woman.
Listen, I'm
Period.
not creating her a backstory. What I'm explaining is just like with I just seen a video the other day with a young boy who was stealing from the store. It looks like a grocery store or something. And my whole thing, I'm just about compassion. I am about understanding. I'm about being empathetic for a person's situation, and especially a child, because they don't have the logical capacity to us to assess and understand certain situations and how you can maybe handle them better. Because why? They probably have not been taught that by the people that put them on this planet. And that is not fair to
So do
try
you?
to put that on a child who is a child.
So
So
do you?
again, I'm not saying I'm
You
not
think
saying that I'm giving her a backstory, giving her
what,
excuse, because
what,
it's not okay at all for nobody to put their hands on anybody. But what I'm saying is simply stating things are not always black and white. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
what I'm saying to you is, you don't think she learned a valuable lesson at this point after she got that ass whooped?
No, did you see the quote that she made afterwards?
Yeah, I know. I saw it.
She did not learn nothing. Let me tell you
She ain't
something.
learned shit.
If anything, she felt like her street cred went up, and she said, "I fought my teacher." If anything, these kids are a whole nother monster. If you're not coming at them with full compassion and really trying to understand them, they not hearing you out. They don't give a shit. They don't care. I've heard you got kids. I would never have cussed in front of an adult when I was young. Strangers, full strangers. I wouldn't even have known them at all. They don't know my parents worth nothing, but I would have felt wrong in my heart of all hearts cussing in front of them. These kids don't care these days. So we gotta attack them with different methods. We can't
But
go the
see,
same route. We would be
that's
foolish to
part
think we go the
of
same route.
that's part of what the government has allowed to transpire. They have taken away the ability to fucking have cohesiveness with your kid. Like your kid go to school and say, "I got my ass whooped at home because I didn't wash the dishes." They have the ability to call CPS and get your ass investigated. Like
Yeah.
the government
But
is that fucking powerful, man. You know
but
what I
the
mean?
re
And then they try to say your kid is a victim when your kid can do some shit like this. You know what I mean? And think about that, man. Like we wouldn't even know what we think about this though. What I do not agree with is this. I do not agree with this one story where it was kids in the classroom and the teacher closed the door, told everybody to put their phone down and fucking let them fight it out in the middle of the classroom. I do not
ignorant.
condone that, and I do not stand behind that. I stand behind you going to the gym and put on some boxing gloves and you handle it in a different way, but I don't condone that at all. You know what I mean?
But check this out though, Tom. It's somebody that be like, they gonna fight anyway. They will fight anyway. So you gotta think about it. It's always gonna be somebody that's gonna jump to the extreme. And there's always gonna be people that again, it just goes back to what you were saying, Tom. Some people fighters, some people not fighters. You feel what I'm saying? It just depends on how your mind is and what you think is right and what's wrong. Because that clearly that to us that's wrong for a teacher to allow two students to fight in a dang on classroom. That's just ridiculous. And when we were in school, obviously that was not going down. You know what I'm saying? But now this young teacher, how old was the teacher? Do anybody know how old she was? In her 30s or whatever, and then got her not got, don't got the good sense to be like, hey, I'm going to create this different type of dynamic because we got to ask a bigger question. The kids been in school for how long now? The school year's almost up, right? This ain't no brand new teacher. This girl knew that teacher, and she knew they've had you. This is not the first time they've had a run-in or exchange words or something
There
like that.
you
Let's
go.
just
You
keep it
doing
clear.
it again.
I don't believe this is the
You
first time
creating a
they've had an
narrative.
exchange.
You
I
sound like
don't
you
believe that.
creating a narrative though.
Again,
You sound like you creating a narrative. You know what
I
I'm
can
saying?
sound like that, but the bottom line is that there's always some history. So I hear what you're saying, but there's more questions that need to be asked, which is why I am so called what you're saying, creating a narrative, because I'm opening those lines of questioning that have not occurred. What was the dynamic between that teacher and that student? Why did that student feel so comfortable to put her hands on her and so late in the year? Where's the respect? What has been occurring in that classroom up until now in the school year to where that little girl felt like it was okay for her to lay hands on that grown woman?
What if she been holding the girl accountable? What if the
Holding her
girl?
accountable for what?
What if she was been holding the girl accountable? Right? Like we talking about a dynamic that we haven't explored. What if she been holding the girl accountable? The girl been coming to class every day, talking on her phone, texting on her phone. Her grades been dying. Her grades, it went from A pluses to F plus.
Mm-hmm.
And she told her, "Hey, look, you come here every day. I've gave you warning. I gave you forewarning. I told you what policy is. You know what I'm saying? You refuse to follow policy. I've talked to your mom. I reached out to
Hmm.
your dad. I've talked to your grandma. I called your auntie Marlene. I reached out to your uncle Ray Ray. You know what I'm saying? Your uncle Ray Ray, actually, he used to be in my class with me. So I used to date your uncle Ray Ray. So I know the history with your family. I want you to succeed. I don't want you to be like your auntie Stephanie with 7 kids and they all on welfare.
Guess
So
what? If it was that type of dynamic tone, she
no,
wouldn't
let
have
me
put her hands
finish
on that
because
teacher.
I'm going somewhere. Let me finish. I'm
If
going somewhere.
if it was that type of dynamic, she wouldn't have put her hands on that teacher.
No, let
That's
me
the
tell you this.
difference.
Let me tell you this. You know what I'm saying? Every day she come make the girl accountable. The girl going, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about you. I told you, bitch, give me my motherfucking phone. That was the conversation that I saw. That's where I picked up at. And she said, no, no,
What
you know
month
what
are we
policy
in?
is.
What month are we in, Tom?
It don't matter if we in the first month or the
Are
last
we
month.
not in April?
Yeah, well, shout out to motherfucking April baby. Shout out to my nigga, his birthday coming up. And shout out to me. I just celebrated birthday. Yeah, we in the month of April. You know what I mean? We in the year of the ram. You know what I mean? Look look at her face, bro. Did you see her face got stuck doing this? Yeah, but I'm saying that to say it's been a buildup, as she's saying, but I'm not creating no narrative for this girl. You know what I mean? When you put your hands on anybody, you know what I'm saying? You fucking be prepared. When you poke that bear, be prepared to run.
What month are we in, y'all? What month is this?
You know what month
Are
we
we not in, exactly? Are we not in April? So
in.
let me tell y'all something. If school start in September, and if a kid has been being disrespectful to me all year, best believe come January, that second card marking, that student is not gonna be in my classroom anymore. If
It
you are
don't, it don't work
disrespecting,
like that.
it's a
It don't work
certain
like that.
protocol. It's a certain protocol in a way to handle things. And again, I've worked in the school system, so
Me
I
too.
can 100%. I'm not saying you haven't, but I'm speaking from again my perspective, my experience working in the school system, and knowing that if you have a difficult child, there are certain steps. You don't wait until April to throw hands with a child. If
That's
you
not
see
what
that
she
there's
did.
behavior, if
That's
you
not what
see
she
that
did.
there's behavior issues, you need to nip them in the bud. And if that's the case, and you know that that girl, if she don't want to give you her phone, or it's been a situation where she don't want to give you her phone, or she don't want to give you her information,
She didn't wait till April to nip it in the bud. Like I said, I'm only defending what I saw and what I see. And at the end of the day, you know what I mean? You're absolutely right. It's April. And you know, like I know, dealing in a capacity to where there is not enough staffing, there is not enough people to follow up and be like, okay, cool. Let me move this individual because most schools in the United States in in the area that's predominantly black are short staffed. You know that as well as I know that. So they don't have nobody to run to. When they have these staff meetings, the principal tells them you need to figure it out. And if you can't figure it out, you need to figure out figuring it out because that's your class. So you in there by your fucking self trying to make it happen. And it looked like she was trying to make it happen
then guess what?
until that
You
little girl
send that student to the
put me.
office every damn day if she giving you a problem every day. You send her to the office and make it their problem every day if that's the case because you're trying your absolute best because you're coming from a place of care. I'm sorry. I just don't. Mm-mm, I can't. I can't condone it. I don't condone what the student did, but I can't condone that teacher. Definitely better choices could have been made on both parts.
Definitely not from my standpoint. I feel like the teacher did everything she was supposed to do in the ramifications of what the rules were. And those rules said that if that girl get out of pocket and throw hands, she could subdue her and put her in
Subdue,
restraint.
not do.
She got her down in a restraint though. She was blocking that girl punches.
Tom,
She was blocking that girl punches, man. Like we let a lot of shit pass. We really do. But the wrong shit, like and like people could say I could be wrong, but I just feel like when there's no order, there's chaos. It looked like she was trying to establish some order in that motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Perspective. It's perspective is a motherfucker. Okay, I
Yeah,
will say that
yeah,
because
because
my
you gave the whole
perspective.
girl a backstory.
Listen, you did as well. My perspective is not going to be the same as yours. It's not going to be the same as Malachi's because if we unless we were going to be sheep, which is why we're not doing the podcast to be sheep. We're doing it to give people different perspectives and
Man,
different ways of thinking about certain situations and things that we're dealing with. So I think this was a healthy conversation. There's people that's going to agree with you. There's people that's going to agree with me. There's people that's going to agree with Malachi. But the thing is,
Malachi ain't said nothing.
the bottom line is I feel like there's always just like what we were talking about with everything that we're talking about, there's going to be fighters. There are going to be people that don't want to, that are non-confrontational, that just don't want to deal with it. And there's going to be people that are just going to go with whatever the hell is going on. And they're just going to, they're not going to really have an opinion because they feel like because this is what all they know. America and the way that we've been running things is all that they know.
um,
So
I'll say I'll say this. My internet's kind of acting weird, so I just been able to hear y'all now. But I'll say this: it started with the students' actions. Um, the reason that the teacher even had to take the phone. Let's start with that. She broke the rules off that. The teacher had to take the phone. Now she has the phone in her possession, and now the student is pressing her about the consequence. You have to stand up to the consequence of your actions. So now you're pressing me as an adult, and I'm telling you as a teacher, I have the authority to say no. Your phone, you're still under punishment. Go sit down. And you're pressing me like I gotta just do what you gotta like you run the show. That's not the case. Now you're physically in my face. Now you're physically swatting at me. Yeah. Like I'm not saying to
I'm
that
not
extent.
gonna listen. I'm gonna let you have that phone, and I'm gonna call the office. I'm not about to fight no kid. You gonna go ahead. You
Hello?
What'd you say, Malachi?
Yeah. She said she ain't fighting no kid. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not fighting no kid. You can have your phone back if it's that serious and you about to get physical with me, because you can read body language and stuff. That teacher was like, "Oh, you trying to take it there? Come on, bring it." And this is the type of thing. I'm not giving you that energy back. If you're giving me that energy and you really about to try to get physical with me for a phone, bet calling the
It looked like you would allow her to hit you. That's what it looked like to me.
Then she would. No, I think she's saying. I think. What you saying? You saying call
First of all,
security?
I'm 5'3" inches. Okay. I ain't fighting no grown ass high school kid. I'm not doing that. Cause let's be real, a lot of these high school students are bigger than me. So if I see you getting physical and you starting to get a little crazy and I can't control you, or you gonna put your hands on me, because you understand body language, especially as black people. Oh, we know when somebody's trying to take it to the physical. So if you're trying to bring that type of energy to me, oh, let me call the office right now. Y'all need to come and get this kid because I'm not, listen, I'm not, y'all don't pay me enough to deal with this. I'm not getting physical for no phone. It ain't that serious for me. Y'all need to come and deal with it. Get him out
See,
my class because it's distracting the rest of the class. I'm not fighting you. I'm not about to sit here and throw
that's
hands
so
with no kid.
ideal though, and you
Mentally, I don't care.
know that's so ideal in the moment though. You know what time it is. You know what I mean? In the moment, it ain't. I'm thinking about you walking out the door because the kid ain't just walking out this door. You know what I mean? The kid gonna have to be removed out of here.
Yeah,
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Period. You know what
get
I
him
mean?
out.
And then you gotta wonder how long that's gonna take. Like part of my job when I was a supervisor, I was a supervisor in a school setting for detention girls or whatever, right? And I was Joe Clark in there. And I'm gonna tell you, get the chains off the fucking doors. Them little bitches didn't play with me, and I didn't play with them, and they knew what time it was when they saw my fat ass coming. Oh, what you calling him for? Code 4. Look, I tell them, hey, look, yo, you gotta go. What I gotta go for? Boom, they flipping tables. Boom, bah, got their ass up against the wall. You out. Transport. Transport mean you back to your fucking building. Woo. Don't play. But this is a regular school. Regular schools don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Regular schools look at it like keep working them till the bell ring. Fuck that. That girl, first of all, if you a teacher and you gotta learn how to restrain a kid in case it get physical, that's telling me they short staff. Period.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's telling me they short staff and they down to the bare minimums.
Mm-hmm.
And that woman in there trying to conduct her class and hold court at the same time.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
be
it's telling me.
and be the
But
therapist, be the mediator.
you gotta
Be
know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
And she did.
know when to fold them, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah. It ain't no when to walk away. It ain't no walking away at that point, bro.
Yeah.
I
He
ain't gonna
knew
let no
she knew she had
motherfucker
to
hit
fold
me
him.
in my face. Fuck out of here. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck who kid you are. You know what I'm saying? You could be
It's hard.
Obama's kid. If Sasha getting out of line, Sasha ass is going down.
It's hard to take disrespect from anyone and keep your calm. It's even harder to take disrespect from someone you know ain't got like when you know you got the authority. And that's where the society is with social media, technology. It's a softer generation, and with all these babies having babies, the respect factor isn't there. That's the biggest issue. The
That's the
respect factor isn't there
biggest issue.
between
Everybody gets
generations,
a pass, bro.
huh?
Everybody getting a fucking pass for the disrespect.
Yeah.
And that's a no-go. That's why
Hmm.
we can't be on the same page. Because it's a pass about dumb shit, you know?
Because
But
I'm
guess
gonna say
what?
this.
You gotta know when to hold them,
You back on this
know
song.
when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You gotta count your. Okay, I'm done. But I'm just saying, and I had to break it. It's getting real intense. But I just honestly, I feel like everything it is individualized. It's really situational. And if that woman felt like that was the right thing for her to do in that moment, and that was the only way to protect herself, I can't tell her that that was wrong
Yeah.
because I was not physically in that position. However, all I can do again
So, however,
is put myself in that. Yeah, if I put myself in that position, me as who I am, I know I wouldn't react in that way, but I can't say that she's wrong for doing what she felt was right to protect herself. That's really the bottom line. I'm saying what I'm saying because that's how I feel, and that is what I believe. But at the end of the day, I can't tell somebody what to do. What does protecting yourself look like to you? I can't tell you.
let me ask you a question. You ever been in a position where you had to restrain kids?
Yes, 100%. I just said I did.
Teenagers,
Yeah.
teenagers,
Yes, I have. I've been in
teenagers,
situations.
teenagers between the ages of let's just say 12 to 18.
Hmm.
You restrain kids between the ages of 18, 12 to
Middle,
18.
not restrained, but separated. So somewhat like restrained. If I had to, it would have went there, but I didn't have to because that again, that respect was there.
It's a different energy though. Sometimes they don't even work off that respect. It's what's going on in the moment. We
But
clearly
that's
see
what I'm
that
saying. It
the
has to
girl
be some
lost.
history between the young girl and their teacher. It has to be some sort of history. That's not their first encounter. This is a whole school year we talking about.
Yeah, that may be true. Like I said, the narrative that you portraying with her, I can't give that girl no pass. You know what I'm saying? They may have had a history or not. You know common sense. You know what I'm saying? Common sense is don't touch
Not
no adult.
common. It's not common. That's not fair, Tom, because common sense is not common.
Common
And
sense is
Yeah.
especially,
always
listen, look, can I explain something to y'all? Kids, especially like teenagers and stuff like that, they are still children. Even though physically they may be bigger or whatever the case is and closer to adulthood, mentally they are children. A 21-year-old is a child mentally. Because I'm at the age that I'm at, I'm able to recognize that some people don't give a fuck. They just like, oh, well, you almost an adult, you got to learn and you're going to learn the hard way. I don't think like that. I am going to give our kids compassion because we know they're background.
I get that. I have teenage kids myself, and I understand that. I mean, but I work on the premise of, you're not gonna be out here disrespecting no adults. You ain't gonna be out here disrespecting me. You know how I get down, and you know what turns me from Bruce Banner to Incredible Hulk. You can play with that fucking shit you want. You know what I'm saying? Yo,
But guess
you
what?
you know my son, my son, Malachi. You know that he know that I don't fucking play. You know what I'm saying? Malachi don't he know?
Yeah, you do.
He knows my dad ain't playing that shit, man. You know what
But
I'm saying?
listen, they're
I
not going to give our kids compassion. The least that we can do is give our own kids compassion because we know their background. If
What's
that teacher knew that student's background, it just depends. I don't know. It's so much more to the story. All I'm saying is don't just write that girl off like she's a troubled youth, and don't just write that teacher off like she is just wanting to beat the kids. Again, everything is not so black and white. It's just not.
Yeah, and you may be absolutely right, but what I refuse to do is paint a narrative that it is completely okay for that girl's behavior, and it wasn't. You know what I mean? And I don't give a fuck how upset you get.
yeah.
You know what I mean? You need to channel that shit at the desk. Don't put your hands on me. And I don't give a fuck if I got. I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest in my house, and only thing that I got to do is pick up the bologna because my mama a crackhead. I don't give a fuck about none of that. And nobody will give a fuck about none of that. You know what I mean? My mama want me to pick up bologna, milk, cheese, eggs. As soon as I get off, she gave me enough food stamps. She calling me. She needs to talk to me. Fuck all that. When you bring it down, that's when we can explore that.
Yeah, yeah. The respect factor, like that's. I mean, to me, this starts in the home. To me, this issue starts in the home. It starts with the parenting,
Hmm.
because it's a certain aspect in that child, in that young woman, that made her comfortable enough to press this adult like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Sheree, us growing up, we wouldn't even have thought to press an adult like that, no matter what the situation is. We may be joking. Like that's one of the things I would do when I was like in high school. I joke, I take a joke too far, but I ain't gonna
Hmm.
never press nobody. I ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the issue. So it starts with parenting, these children, raising children, having children at a young age, not practicing safe sex from the jump, and us just making decisions irrationally when it comes to our sexual desires, breed these children that you're not ready to take care of and fully really groom and raise, not just having a child, but actually raise this civil adult. You know what I'm saying? A civil teenager. Like,
So you done? I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
You done? So other day I had a conversation with Kingston about, you know, doing some shit around the house. So he's always into this habit of waiting to the last minute to get up and get dressed or whatever. So we had a conversation. Yo, take a shower at 7 o'clock. So he didn't take a shower at 7 o'clock. So I got on him about it, and I said to him like, "What's the deal, bro? Like, you heard what I said the previous night." He don't say nothing. He go in his room and say something. So I call him back. I say, "Yo, you can have a conversation with me. Like, you don't got to talk to yourself about it." And so then he like, "Well, I feel some type of way because, because I missed the time because of X, Y, and Z." And because I'm being transparent, I told him flat out, I don't give a fuck about that.
That's why he didn't want to talk to you about it. See?
No, listen to what I'm saying though. I don't give a fuck about that because I gave you ample time to do what I asked you to do. You're making excuses. In life, it ain't no excuses. This is the difference between men and women raising kids. Men and women raising kids, at the end of the day, you talk more so about feelings. Fuck your feelings
Mm,
because the world don't
mm-mm.
care about them. The
It
world
don't
don't
matter,
care
but
about
your mom, but your parents do.
I'm your only motherfucker that care about you. That's why I'm making sure you prepared for the world. You know what I mean? And that's where I come from. You're gonna be prepared on every avenue. You know what I'm saying? I can't always be around you 24/7, 365. I can't always be like, hey yo, make sure you do that. Hey yo, do this. Hey yo, do that. Hey yo, make sure this is done. It don't work like that in life. Period. You gotta
No, I
figure it
don't.
out. I didn't have no male in my life to tell me these things. So me dropping these jewels on him, you know what I'm saying? Another fucking bomb. Go ahead. I'm gonna keep giving them fucking bombs.
Right. Right.
And I don't think I'm wrong to tell you. I don't give a fuck about what you did. It's about the end result. I told you to do something. That's what the fuck I meant. That's what the fuck I said. Not when you decide to do it. Period.
The way you respond to adversity as an adult is a direct result of the way your parents raised you. If you were coddled, if you were overcompensated, if you ran every time, they ran to you every time something happened, you're gonna do that as an adult. The slight time you're inconvenienced, you know, it's a question you don't know. You're gonna constantly try to instead of thinking for your own and not having excuses and being resilient, you're gonna be coddled. Like that example, strong men make comfortable times make weak men create hard times. You know what I'm saying? It's that cycle. Like, so if you create an easy environment, that child is gonna grow up thinking the world is easy, and oh man, all I gotta do is because my mom did this, my dad did that. You know what I'm saying? The parents is really just grooming the children for the real world. Like that's
But
my take on
we're teaching them how to make these difficult situations easier. We're not trying to make their situations difficult. So you say, okay, life is difficult. So let me throw some difficult shit at you that you have to deal with so you can prepare you. That's not what the whole idea is. The idea is I see what you're dealing with. Let me teach you emotional intelligence. Let me teach you how to control yourself, how to assess certain situations, see what certain things are. Let me teach you common sense and how to move through this world so that you don't feel like you're being slighted all the time, and you don't feel like you're entitled to certain things, and you don't feel like you are being mistreated just because stuff is tough.
it.
I
That
think
does
that's
start at home.
I think that's what the problem is today, though. Everything that you're saying is based off an emotional reaction. You know what I'm saying? And
I think that's the problem.
let me
Y'all
finish.
want to tell men,
I can go
y'all
back
tell these
to
young men they can't have feelings.
I can go back to and that's not the case. You know what I mean? And I think it's an appropriate way of doing things. And I think because in most cases, young men get raised by women, right? And they don't never stop being coddled by women. Like they'll be in a house with a woman till they fucking 35, 36 years old. But what they'll do is, and I'm speaking from the black experience, my black experience, they will have a daughter and they will teach every element of the game to their daughter and practically push their daughter out the house to be self-sufficient and independent. But they would keep that boy in the house just so she could protect him, just so she don't feel like he could be a threat to the world or he can't make it in society. When she don't prepare him to be a man from the world. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That's the issue. You know what I mean? When we start talking about us as a society where we went wrong where the men got taken out of the household.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we went wrong as a society. There needs to be a balance, and there's always should be a balance. There should be a
You ain't
balance.
got to do nothing but just lay there.
Oh well, okay. There should be a balance when it comes to men and females, black males and black females. You should be getting that balance of the motherly love, and you should get that balance of the father figure. They don't get that in society. Girls miss out on the tender side of being with a responsible male. You know what I mean? And men miss out on having a man in the house to check you when you're doing inappropriate shit. And we should be doing shit you don't got no business doing. You know what I mean? Women, as much as I love my mom could not be dad and mom. And I love her to death. And I don't agree with, how some women be like, it's Mother's Day, you've been dad and mom. That role can never be fucking mistaken because girls always need their dads and boys always need their moms. You know what I mean? That can never be replaced. That's the nucleus. That's the foundation. And you can't go away from that foundation. If you don't have it, what you have is a generation in which we are colliding in right now, where not just this generation, but the generation before had no fucking barriers, no boundaries, no guidance. All they had was single parent homes. And most of the time, they wasn't even getting fucking taught shit from the single parent because that parent had to work. You know what I mean? So majority of the time, they learning from the streets or they learning from TV. Now the difference is this generation is learning from either the video games because they're digital babies. You know what I'm saying? Or they're learning from XXX Tession about fucking anxiety and depression.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think about it though. It's nature versus nurture. And it's a whole lot more to it. Again, everything is not black and white. And I do feel like obviously a dad can't be replaced. That's not even part of the conversation because that's it's not even to discuss. A
Right.
man's a man's role is very much important, just like a woman's role is important. They play different roles. But again, it still started home. I don't care if you being raised by a woman only or just by a man. It does not give you an excuse for your behavior or any of that. You should still be being taught certain values at home that should carry over into the outside world. So that way I know when you're not around me that you're going to behave yourself and not going to embarrass me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it starts, it's the culture. It's the culture of the household, the
Yeah.
foundation of the household. And it doesn't matter. I do agree with you, Tone. The women, do the best they can, but at the same time, it's still the structure factor. It's the respect factor.
Men do the best they can too, but it is a
Absolutely.
structure factor. You're right. But we
I
Absolutely.
all
mean,
doing the best
I
that
mean,
we can.
it's no debate. Like, and that be the thing with black women. Black women take it as a like a step on them, and it's not a step. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's not a step at all. Like, yeah, like
By you saying women can do, they're doing the best that they can, but yeah, I'm gonna reverse it too.
yeah,
Men
but
do
I
the
mean,
best they can, but you can do the
look,
same thing. The
look,
point is,
I've seen many parents that were raised by just black women, right? And this dudes just they just do not have any fear factor. They
have y'all
innocent.
and how many men have you seen raised by just by their fathers, or women just raised by their fathers, single fathers?
I can't say I've seen a test of that because it's normally the latter. It's in most cases a lot of men ain't around to do that. You know what I'm saying? I just see a lot of women taking that responsibility because that's what they've been shown. That's the outcome in which they've had. If
I'm
you
sorry.
could
So
if
how
you
so
could
how
tell
many?
me
I'm sorry, it cut out. I didn't catch that. So how many single fathers have you seen raise their kids
like I
in
said,
comparison?
I normally don't see that
Oh,
because of what's normally presented is presented the latter. You know what I mean? I
oh,
don't know a
oh,
lot. I don't
not the
know a lot
latter,
like
not the latter, not the latter. Moms are stepping up because why? Because some of the fathers are not. So let's just keep it real. We're gonna do the best we can because that's the hand that we're dealt. And that's a whole nother conversation. But the point is, if we didn't step up, then the kid would be lost, wouldn't have no father, wouldn't have
yeah,
no mama.
yeah.
So again, it does start at
But,
home, but
but it
also that
doesn't.
mother has to play the role of both parents if they have to. That's neither here nor there. I'm not saying a
Yeah.
mother is a father. That's a whole nother thing. That's gender talk.
You s-
But
you
what
said you said
I'm
you
talking
said
about,
something very valuable.
I'm talking
Has
about
to play. You
specifically values.
have to play the role. You know what I'm
I'm talking
saying?
about specifically values. That's what
No,
I'm talking about.
what I'm
Specifically
saying is
values.
What I'm saying to you is you are absolutely right. There's a portion where you have to play a role, but that role it comes natural with you as a mother, not you playing the role as mom and dad. That doesn't work.
Oh
That
no.
hasn't been working. You
Oh
know what I
no.
mean?
And a woman can't be a father. You can't be a father.
We're agreeing to the same thing then.
Oh, 100%. It's not a debate. But what I'm saying is, it's not a debate when it comes to that. But what I'm saying is, what y'all not about to sit up here and do. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, as a black woman, as a black mother, what y'all not about to sit up here and do is say, oh, because that black woman raised that boy, that boy could have been raised better because his father was in the picture. Because guess what?
No one's projecting that. I didn't project that energy. That's the way you're taking it. What I'm saying to you is there is no real outlook for what the government has done to us, which is separate the nucleus of our household. Like there's no way that that girl that we went back to, that girl would have been in a position if she had both parents in her life. We can already
You
know that
can't say
she
that for
don't.
sure though.
We can never be sure, but we know she don't. You know what I'm saying? We know she don't.
I don't know her backstory. I don't know her life.
You
Do
created a
you know her?
backstory
Do you
for her.
know she don't have her father in her life?
You created a backstory for her.
No, I did not. I played devil's
You did. You
advocate and
said you're the
I
only
gave different
one.
scenarios. No, I didn't. I gave different scenarios and I said everything is not black and white. I don't know that girl's story. What I'm simply trying to get people to see is that it's not always as simple as it is, as people are trying to break it down to make it seem. That's
Yeah.
all I was trying to do. Again, I'm not saying that that girl has lived the life that I said. I'm simply trying to throw different scenarios out there and different situations.
Different possibilities. I do get her
Yeah.
point. I do get her point. Um, yeah, it's definitely different possibilities. I OG do I Sri, I was just saying we do see what you're saying. There's different possibilities, and we never know. We never know what's on the person's mind. This is true. But just a broad blanket, not taking no background into it at all, there was some foundational points missing. Rather she had two parents, one parent, they failed. That's what we can say. And so when you look at that, you can kind of look at, okay, how did it fail then? Was it just one mom? Is it mom and dad? Why aren't they teaching these type of respect factors and foundations?
Then I want to make this point too. Like we put it so much on the teacher, right? This teacher is now affected with PTSD now because this young girl attacked her.
Yeah.
We're not talking about the effects in which this teacher is going through. You know what I
And
mean?
she
She's at a
had
position to lose her right to teach.
was her job. Or
That's
just
her
off
job.
somebody trying her, like a child trying her, yeah.
Not only that, she's probably in the position to talk to CPS, and you know when you get a case with CPS, that stay on your rap sheet for years. You know what I'm saying? Like that's fucked up, man. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
So you know, I don't know. I just think this world today is really fucked up, and I think we really we really have to figure out what's going on and
What's
protect each
going
other.
on?
What's
You know what I'm saying?
going on?
Oh yeah,
Tell
yeah,
me
yeah.
what's going on.
I
I
want
tell
to
you what's going on.
Ooh,
Ooh. Right
yeah,
on, right
right
on,
yeah,
right
on.
on.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
can you
yeah.
imagine him in the booth back then, like doing all them ad libs?
Hell yeah. Do do do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Bring some love into
Right on.
Right on,
hey,
baby. Right on now. Right on.
pick it time.
All
Don't
right, man.
furnish me with
Yo, we can talk about
brutality.
this for another hour, another 2 hours. We don't
For
have all
real.
the answers. We trying to figure them out as we go along, man. Life is what we try to balance it out to be. But
Yeah.
you know, and I know at the end of the day, we got to figure it out. We got to come together. We got to do something. You know what I'm saying? It takes a nation of millions to hold us back, as the powerful public enemy once said. We got to stand behind that code of ethic, man. You know what I'm saying? This is today's episode of Mask Off, episode 148. Man, what the fuck is really, what's up? What's going on? You know what I mean? Before we get out of here, let's get some shout outs, man. What's the deal? What you got going on, yo? Oh shit, what you got going on, young boy?
Yo, you know, what up? What up?
Oh, he on his rap transplant.
June, yeah, you feel me? Say nah. Birthday coming up, man. I'm gonna be at the St. Regis Hotel celebrating, man. Ugly Jason's comedy show on the 29th. Cherie Amore's game night on the 29th, man. We going up, man. All that.
You done? Thought you was still putting your sexy
with the big
on.
yawn, with the big yawn for the end.
Yeah, I thought he's done. Put the sexy
Yeah,
on.
I'm sliding out to Buffalo tomorrow. Buffalo, New York. Got a murder mystery show out there.
That's what's
yeah,
up,
man.
Oh,
on the grind, man.
I'm jelly.
What's up, Sheree? Oh, should we take a TV timeout?
TV timeout. Closed caption.
Closed caption. So, you want to know what's going on with Big Tone?
Yes,
well, coming up in May, I say May the 6th, I'm getting back with the band with Dinner Detectives, and I'll be a seated performer with the Mystery Dinner Theater troupe, and I'll be doing it what it do, man. I'm back out here, giving the people what they want all day, all night. Holla at you, boy. What's the deal? What's going on with you?
So, like Malachi said, April 29th is the young boy's birthday. How you doing? And my ultimate game night, come out, have some fun, build community, network with some like-minded people. Let's just have a good time, y'all. Let's do it. Bring that good energy.
Make sure you put that information in the chat. Make sure you put it in the description below. Check it out in the description below. What's going on, these dates that we got. Well, I mean, this isn't Friday, but this is Thursday. And we working on some new times and some new dates. Tom, if you out there, get with the program, baby, before the program gets with you. You know what I'm saying? That's,
come on now. Shout out to Game Time rocking with us.
Shout out to
all-time Mask Off favorite, man. Also, and we're gonna have to hook Tom up, man.
Shout out to DJ Touch. DJ Touch is in the motherfucking building. Shout out to hey, look here. Shout out to Danny Love. Danny Love, you know what it do when it don't. Do it all day.
Danny, we love you, Danny.
We love you, girl. Kumbaya. I'm gonna say my side.
I love you,
the fact that you getting all the accolades through your new book. Keep shining. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Somebody don't hate you. We love you. You know what I mean? Oh, look how she got them damn fingers. Okay. Anyway, on that note, we about to be about this piece, man. What the hell is going on?
What's going on? Tell me what's going on. What's going on?
Yeah.
Right on. Right on.
Oh. Come on.
Hey, what's happening?
What's going on?